What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. In this video, I'm be reacting to some comments made by Jeff Teague, um, directed towards Caitlin Clark, right? And I'm not. It's not like I'm making excuses for Caitlin Clark, But I just want to be honest about the situation because when we talk about some of the things that they say about Caitlin Clark, uh, can apply to just about every point guard in the WNBA and in the NBA when you talk about especially defense, right? And so people are putting a narrative out there that Caitlin Clark is not really a good defender, which like on ball she may not be a good defender because matchups against other players who are bigger than her and faster than her, right? And that's the same thing with all guards, right? Like sometimes you'll find yourself in a matchup with somebody who's just bigger and stronger than you. So I'm just gonna put that out there because even Jeff Teague as a guard, I'm trying to think. Jeff Teague probably is about 6'2", not really much bigger than that. He might be about 6'1", about 6'2", 6'3". But Jeff Teague also on the NBA floor was a defensive liability. Certain players he could play, but certain players he couldn't play. And at times, teams hunt the guards out. Even Steph Curry, I think Steph Curry is 6'2". They hunt guards out because they want to they want to create a mismatch. Jalen Brunson, who somebody said they were hunting Jalen Brunson in the playoffs. It's just that with guards, that's what comes with being a guard. Because you're small and size matter. They'll put somebody on you who they know that you can't play, and then they go for the easy basket. I'm trying in this playoff search we just saw. Now it didn't. They said who was hunting out Jalen Brunson, but Jalen Brunson fought through it. And my thing is, with the Indiana Fever organization, they're not allowing this young lady, in my opinion, to fight through these situations. This happens with every guard. Like every guard, you could be dynamic on the offensive end, but then defense might be your you might not be good at on-ball defender, but you can play team defense. You can rebound. There's some things that you can do on defense. Like nobody is going to get a 100 out of 100 score as far as as a player. Everybody got some chinks in their armor. So I just wanted to put that out there before I started playing this audio from Jeff Teague and his on 520 podcast and him and his co-host.
Oh yeah, we in the W with it, man. The Fire took care of the Fever, 100-84. Boy, they made a mixtape of where is Caitlin Clark? Go ahead,
y'all niggas don't ever want to listen to me.
They put her on a fucking island. Boy.
They said, "Where
every
are
team
you?"
put her on an island.
Y'all don't want to listen to me.
Can I see you tonight?
Caitlin Clark has been averaging, I believe, like 11 points over the last 3 games,
and she can't guard. Nobody.
She can't guard.
What I don't like being here is when you come in here with stats because that was negativity that we didn't need.
She can't guard. Look at this, cuz she can't guard nobody.
Yeah, they said where is CC?
That was a travel.
The whole team ice on you.
She threw her shoulder at her.
And
we gotta get on her when she fucking up.
And the coach don't like her.
Yeah, coach tired of this shit.
Yeah, she walked out of the.
Now see, all right. So they say she can't guard nobody, right? But also, I think part of what's going on too with Caitlin Clark is it looks like she's frustrated because she's been with the Fever for 3 years. The first year, she didn't really pick up until like after the All-Star. Things kind of picked up for her. And she was having, she had a really good season that first year. Second year, she got hurt. Now here we are in season 3. Season 3, they draft Raven Johnson, another guard, somebody who plays your position. That might be weighing heavy on her. She was like, why not just give me the keys and let me do what I do? Have some faith in me. Show me that, help build up my confidence. And I don't really get that from the organization. I'm saying that with what's the other young lady? Paige Beckers. She with the Dallas Wings. She coming there. They already have a really good basketball player, Enrique but they still allow her to, they give her the keys to the car. And Paige is not really all that good a defender either, right? In my opinion. She plays some defense, but she's not like like somebody going to shut people down. But Paige is excellent on offense, just like Caitlin. Take what's the other young lady that's coming in this year? Olivia Miles. Now, Olivia Miles is dynamic offensive player, and she plays really good. She plays, decent defense too. But Olivia Miles also for the Minnesota Lynx has been giving keys to the car. They just allowing her to go and play, and she make mistakes. Everything is not perfect. She got some chinks in her game, but the coach Reeves with the Lynx understands that she's going to have to work through. Olivia Miles is going to have to work through some of her, some of the mistakes that rookies make, but they're willing to live with that. And I don't see that with the Indiana Fever. Like it's one thing for the fans to be down on you, the media to be down on you, but when your own team, don't seem to really have a lot of confidence in you, then that's something different, and I think that's going to go a long way into playing into. I don't think that Caitlin Clark is going to stay there. Like when her contract is up, I think she's going to move on because she's not really getting the support from her team as far as the coaching staff that she needs. And I think this situation, in my opinion, is going to come to a head.
Huddle yesterday.
Damn.
Gotta chill out.
Yeah, they are spamming her way.
She got to calm down. Much as we celebrate you, we got to tell you the truth too.
Yeah, go ahead and load it up, man. In the huddle, it got real ugly, man. Stephanie White was sick of her shit.
Attitude is coming.
They gonna fire Stephanie White, bro.
Oh yeah, she's getting fired.
They gonna fire her,
unbearable.
bro.
You gotta play some fucking defense.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
She ain't telling her.
I'm putting my hands up.
Yeah, get your hands up on the sideline. Raven, get your ass
Get her ass. She can't guard. Get the black girl in there.
Fuck out.
Yeah.
Now, you know what's noticing the situation?
You know she can guard.
All right. And so that's the thing, right? That, like I said, they drafted Raven Johnson. Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White, had some words back and forth. And then she pointed at Raven and put Raven in there, right? And so, like I said, this is going to cause that situation to boil over because maybe Caitlin Clark feel like, you're not giving me the opportunity to work through my situation. And when you look at the team defensively as a whole, nobody on that team and most of the players on that team not really playing good defense. So they're not playing really good team defense. And Raven is good on ball defender, right? And she's helping out, but everybody else just seems like they got like their shoes are stuck in the mud when you look at the Indiana Fever. So it's not just Caitlin. Like I said, and I don't feel like she's getting the opportunity to work through some of these situations. And I think she's getting frustrated. You see her, and I know that like she sometimes complains to the refs, but I think she's doing it more this year than I have ever seen them do. And I think they only like about 10 games into the season, close to 10 games in the season. And she is doing more complaining this year than I've seen her do throughout her professional career. I remember at Iowa, sometimes, she used to get on the refs and her father would put her back, straighten her out and get her back on the right track. But this team right here, man, it's just not a good fit for her. This coaching staff, I like the talent on the team. They got talent all over the place. And I think the way they are constructed that they can be successful, but I think that you got to be able to bring the best, I don't know. It just seems like Stephanie White only knows one way to coach, and that's like with an iron fist, and like I said, I like the coach Reeves with the Lynx, and she seems like the kind of coach that coach with an iron fist, but she gains she has respect of her really, really good players, meaning that somewhere along the line, she has built trust with her, like with Fee. And now she's building a relationship with Olivia Miles. Who else they got on there? That team, Minnesota has some really good basketball players on that Lynx team. And this kind of situation, you know that Reeves, the coach Reeves, I forgot her first name, but Coach Reeves run that show over there. Same thing with Becky Hammons. Like Becky Hammons run that show, but you know that there is a relationship between Becky Hammons and Asia Wilson, right? And there's that trust there, but I'm not feeling that situation with Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark. I'm just not feeling that. So I think it's gonna come to a head. I don't know if Stephanie White gonna get fired, but I don't think that Caitlin Clark is gonna be there, man. And it's crazy, in my opinion. It's just crazy. But as far as like her not being able to guard at the NBA, like I said, in the NBA and the WNBA, you always run across guys who just not fast, don't have the foot speed or the athleticism to stay in front of somebody, and so they find other ways to help the team out on the defensive end. I'm not just saying play defense like James Harden, and just play that matador defense. But coaches, you got to know how to maximize the talent of the players that you have. You just can't, you can't play defense, and it don't work like that. That's why, like I said, the Minnesota Lynx, man, that lady over there can coach. And so that's my take on the situation with Caitlin Clark. I'm gonna keep my eye on it just to see where it go from here. But I think the coach probably gonna get fired. That's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.